Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and the next review I want to do for you today is the Play Arts Kai Devil May Cry 4 Dante figure. This is the first figure of the batch. You get him and Nero in this series. I already reviewed Nero, so if you didn't see that video, go check it out. And if you did, then thanks for watching. So this is Dante, the main character of the game. He is probably one of my favorite Play Arts figures so far, just because he looks so darn cool. The whole figure is just really amazingly cool, I think. He stands, and of course his legs are a little bent right now, so right now he's at 9.5, but once you straighten out his legs, he stands 10 inches tall, just a hair taller than Nero, if memory serves. I haven't stood them up next to each other in a little while, but there he is, really cool looking figure. As far as accessories go, he has the two open hands for his guns and his sword, and he has two fist hands. Focus, focus, focus. Nicely detailed, open knuckles. Not a whole lot going on there, but still sculpted well, and they just peg in. He also has the little brass button that goes on the back of his jacket. Looks kind of like a shell casing right there, but all that does is replace the peg that holds the sword in place. That comes out of the sword, obviously. You put this in the jacket and it just looks like one of the brass buttons. But I'm going to leave the sword on his back for now. Actually, I'll show you the sword and then I'll put it back on his back. So he has his main sword right there, nicely sculpted, great detail in the handle. Does have the peg for his hands to hold it, and then of course the peg for the back peg. The blade is nice and metallic, evenly painted. Nice and sturdy material. It doesn't feel like it's going to break or anything. The sword itself is 9 inches long, so it's a really nice size sword. Good accessory. Stands up to his face when he's when he's posed like this. So really cool piece. I'll just leave that on his back for now. Well, I'll leave it off. What the heck. It'll be easier to show you guys the figure with it off. So we'll put that back in his back. And then he has his two guns, as I mentioned. Great detail. As you can see, it says ebony and ivory on them. Stunning detail in the sculpt and paintwork. Both sides look great. He can hold them pretty well. They are held on with pegs in his palms, but his fingers line up nicely on the grip and on the trigger, so that's pretty cool. Same thing on this side. Again, we have ebony and ivory. You can read it a little easier on that one, but still, his fingers line up nicely. Trigger finger's not as good on that hand, but that's okay. Focus. Still great detail. The black one, of course, is a little less nice looking, but still really cool. So that does it for the accessories. Let's talk about the figure itself. Great detail, great likeness to the in-game rendering, the CGI 3D model, whatever you want to call it. Looks just like him. You can see there's great paintwork on the goatee and around the eyes themselves, the eyebrows, everything just looks really nice. There's nice texture on the skin. The hair is done well. It is in two parts, so you can see the seam. But from the front you can't tell, and it looks decent everywhere else, so it's okay by me. As far as articulation goes on the head, it's on a ball joint, so plenty of range of motion. Lots of realistic posing ability right there, so that's really nice. The detailing in the clothing is really amazing as well. If you'll see, there's different layers in the jacket and the collar, and then the lapel part's buttoned down. It's all soft material, really nicely colored, painted, sculpted, everything. Can't complain about any of it. The buckles throughout the outfit. Just great detail everywhere, really. Can't complain about any of it. It's an amazing looking figure. Even the stitch work on the boots is there. And nicely done, and the boots do have their soles. So, really cool looking figure. Let's talk articulation for the torso. It's on a ball joint in there, so great range of motion. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. So great range of motion in there. Really nice, no complaints. He does have a waist twist. It's really stiff, but it's in there. The jacket, like I said, is soft up here. This part is soft, of course, as well, but it is hinged on the back just like Nero. That hinge, it actually rotates individually as well. So if you rotate the upper torso like that and you need these to line up, Obviously they don't right now. You can rotate that individually. It's really stiff, but you can do it. I'm not going to be able to do it on camera, of course. I haven't had this guy out of the package too long, but you can rotate it to get it to line up a little bit better. And then of course you can do that to make it look like he's jumping or something. So pretty decent. It could be a little better, I suppose, where it meets up here, but it's still pretty decent. The hips have the floating groin piece again, so they have the ball joints in there. And that's kind of a funny thing to say. And obviously there's a ball peg in there that the thigh moves on. So full range of motion. This is a soft material, so it doesn't get in the way. This piece of leather here is soft, so it just makes the sculpt work look a little better, but doesn't get in the way at all. And then the thigh rotates actually around itself, so that's a nice piece of articulation there. Double jointed knees. As far as I can tell, there's no cut joint in the shin or boot like there was with Nero, unless it's just the one that's inside the lower leg down here, but I'm not positive on that. I wish I could spin this because it's not quite glued straight, but no big deal. The foot has the regular ankle pivot in there, plus an ankle rocker. You can see that. And then, like I said, it swivels, so maybe that's all there is, and mine just got glued a little crooked. I don't know. As far as the shoulders go, it's a standard ball disc, so it spins out like this, and then it rotates. There's a bicep swivel right there. Single jointed elbow, just like Nero, except his is solid colored, so there's no skin peeking through down there. So that's a nice touch. The hands have a hinge in there at the wrist, and they're on a ball peg, so there's plenty of range of motion there. So really, if you want to pose a figure a lot, these are the figures to get. They have great articulation, and they have great sculpts, and they look awesome. So there's really no reason not to get them. If you have the money and like good figures, these are the ones to get. It's a lot to talk about. He holds his sword just fine. Could be a little bit better. Because the hands are made to hold the guns and the sword, they have obviously the trigger finger, which is okay. It doesn't look terrible on the sword. But even with the peg, holding the sword is kind of a problem. And the right peg, the peg on the right hand isn't that great. It's kind of a soft material and it always just smushes, if you'll notice that. And I've had two of these now and they've both done that. The left hand's a little bit better, so I'll show you the sword in that hand. Let's see if I can do this on camera. There we go. So as you can see, he holds it due to the peg. It's fine, but it does fall out sometimes because the peg's not a big peg and it's a very big sword. So it could be a little better. I wish they gave him, instead of fist hands, I wish they gave him maybe some sword holding hands. That would have been a nice touch. But it's not absolutely necessary, and I'm not going to really complain about it too much. It's just something I noticed and I think could have been better. But either way, it's a great figure. I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10, just like Nero. Absolutely great figure. Can't complain about really too much at all. So I do recommend you go pick it up if you can. I know they're getting hard to find and a little bit expensive probably in some places, most places. But it does exist and it is out there, and if you want it, you should go try to get it. It's a great figure overall. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for some more reviews, some other videos, and in the meantime, keep collecting.